how people discover us, whether that's speaking on camera or speaking on stage. How do we get to a place where we're able to go speak to that ideal audience and take our business to the next level, but also transform their lives? But a lot of the times I see the problem that people have when they want to land speaking engagements is they don't know who they're targeting. They don't know where to go. They're all over the place in terms of where they want to speak or who they want to speak to. And a lot of times I find that it makes it hard for people to actually make headway, actually generate revenue. One of the things that I've learned just particularly about speaking is that some of the mistakes I made in regards to speaking and lessons learned has been really when a lot of times you want to go out and you want to just share your story. I want to share my story. I have a message. And one of the biggest mistakes is we go out just trying to tell a story or say a message, and that's not really what people care about. Right? Shocker, right? Oh, what? People don't care about my story? They gotta care about it. My story is gonna change lives. They gotta care about it. But the real catch to this whole situation is they only care about your story and your message if there's a way that it applies to their life. They only care about what you have if it applies to the end goal that they're trying to. I've learned that you don't just want to go out and just do anything. You feel what I'm saying? You don't just want to go out and just be like, yo, I just have a story and I want to go out and speak. So you really gotta like be targeted. So even before we get into the specifics of it, the very first thing, and I guess this would be 0, right? If I'm giving you 3 ways, but this is kind of like the prerequisite to even landing speaking engagements. The prerequisite is you gotta be clear on who you want to help. That was one of the biggest mistakes that I've made throughout my career and really trying to get speaking engagements and help people. As I was in a place where, I just want to go speak. I just want to go out. I just want to find somebody who cares about my story, who cares about my message, and I just want to help them out. And the challenge is you'll never be able to do that effectively enough because you're all over the place. Where should I go? Where should I speak? What organizations I should go to? So always remember this when it comes to business, and particularly in regards to the topic we're talking about today, you're always going to find the most advantage, and you're going to save yourself so much stress and headache when you pick so everything isn't for everybody. Everything is for everybody. Every story, every lesson is for everybody. Although we have commonalities as humans based on your experiences, right? Some audiences and some people are gonna connect more than others. And there I realized, I'm like, even me going to speak to schools, all schools are not equal. You're going to speak to high schools, all high schools are not equal. There's different types of high schools. There's high schools that specialize in certain things. You know what I mean? And the story that I had was good for high schools that were, in lower income, poverty, more, is just more dangerous neighborhoods, right? So I kind of learned that there, and that's the same thing that I want to say to you is the very first thing is you really want to figure out who you're going to target specifically, like what your niche is, and then who you're going to target specifically. So one of the first ways, one of the easiest, most low-hanging fruit ways in order to get clients is tap into your referral network. Tap into your network. Tap into your network. Tap into your referral network. The reason you want to do that is because that's easy. There's people who know, like, and trust you. In business, the easiest way to generate clients is by offering your products and services to people who know, like, and trust you. So if you already are tapped in, which is likely, like I believe that we're all separated by, somebody said 6 degrees of separation, right? In the whole world, you're probably just 6 connections away, 6 degrees of separation away from the person you want to get in contact with, right? Today, I think literally, I'll probably say literally 2-3 connections away from whoever you want to get. I think it's 2 or 3, even less today. You know somebody who knows somebody, and that's the person. You know what I'm saying? So that's literally what it is today, especially with the internet. It's a lot easier to be able to communicate. You have that ability, but a lot of times we think we need to go into this foreign land, or we need to do some magical thing online, or we have to do something magical and have some kind of breakthrough in order to find places to go speak. And it's not really that. It's once you're clear, now you can have a clear conversation with somebody in your network and say, hey, listen, I'm looking to go speak to some schools. I'm looking to go speak to some nonprofits. Actually, I'm looking to speak to some organizations. I'm looking to speak to some churches. You know what I mean? Depending on who your market is. But if you say, I'm looking to speak to demographics or organizations like this, you'll be surprised on the connections people have. Does that make sense? So with that, that's the very first. Is tap into your network. Don't be afraid. Pick up your phone. Make a call. Do a text. Hey, you know what? This year I'm really going to be focused on my speaking and providing value, and I'm looking for organizations, or I'm looking for people like this, or people who have audiences like this. You got a few minutes to chat. I actually want to ask you a couple of things. Anything, all right? And then once you get into, and this is more of an advanced strategy, but it works phenomenally. Once you start getting contacts, whether you're able to do business with them or not, realize this. Listen, tap in to Google. Sounds very simple, but when you tap into Google, but I'm gonna give you this. Once you clear on the types of organizations and the value you want to provide, you want to be able to search. It's as simple, and I'm gonna give you a hint. Search for conferences and or events. This was a mistake that I made. I used to try to find I used to try to find places to go speak and then see if they needed speakers. Does that make sense? Like I would say, okay, I'm gonna go speak to this organization. Let me see if they need a speaker. That is one way. I do think that is a little bit harder than finding specific events and or conferences and then going and approaching and speaking to them that way, right? So I would say something like, I would type in something like, let's say if I'm focused on sales, I would say sales conferences, New York City. You feel what I'm saying? And then now it'll pop up with all the sales conferences this year that are in New York City, sales events, NYC. Does that make sense? Like anything, any kind of conferences or events or workshops or boot camps or anything that people are having in my local city, or if you're willing to travel outside of it, and search for specific events. When you search for specific events, it makes it a lot easier. Tap into LinkedIn. Tap into your LinkedIn network. So in LinkedIn, they have what you call a Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator is basically a connected application or integrated application to LinkedIn. It's an upgrade, and once you upgrade and you do the LinkedIn, it's a monthly subscription. But what it does is it gives you access to all the decision makers at any companies. So exactly what I mentioned is, okay, well, if you know that there's certain people who hold certain positions in organizations, then you could literally reach out to that person directly. The VP of marketing at a company, the coordinator at this company, if you know that there's a specific role of somebody who hosts conferences, you can link up with them that way. But that tool is very good for one, sending direct messages to the exact person that you need. I mean, like you could find people at major organizations. I was doing some research just recently using Sales Navigator, and like there's a bunch of organizations, especially in the world of coaching, where they gave me direct access. Like, so I get a lot of people who come into my coaching program, and I work with all types of coaches, helping them build, grow, scale their coaching businesses, from creating your coaching program to getting your first client to getting on stages, right? So we kind of give you the whole kit and caboodle. Thing is, I'm like, okay, let me look at some different organizations. And I mean, ICF popped up with all of the context part of there. I get a lot of clients, not just from ICF, from like the John Maxwell team. I get a lot of clients from all of these different, organizations, big organizations, small organizations. And I'm like, well, why not do something, because they already have members or graduates of their programs, connect with them, do collaborations with them, speak, whether, even if it's virtual, even if I don't get paid for it, right? Because if you go speak and you don't get paid, if it's with your ideal clients, and this is one of the things that I see that's the most valuable anyway. It's not even a front end money that you get from the organization. If you're speaking to the right organization, guess what's going to happen? The people that are in the organization will actually want to work with you, and you'll get paid much more as a consultant. Open a relationship, build a relationship. If it's your ideal audience, you might just go in and say, look, I'm gonna do this just to kind of build a goodwill. Let's build a relationship. I'll go in and I'll speak for free, but then you'll also be able, you can ask them to endorse you to their audience, and then you'll even get clients that way. All right, and then guess what? You'll also capture the footage. You can use the footage for your Instagram, your TikTok, your YouTube. Come on, you building. One of the things that I've learned just about people who are super successful is that anytime they do something, they also look for multiple outputs. They look for multiple benefits of doing something. When I used to go speak, I used to just say, yo, I just want to get in front of people. But I never thought about all of the other opportunities that can come from it. My mind was so limited in my thinking. I didn't even know, like, oh wow, when I go speak, let me capture on a video. Oh, when I go speak, let me bring products and services. Oh, when I go speak, let me see if I can book on a recurring basis with the organization that I'm speaking at, so it's not just a one-shot deal. Oh, when I go speak, let me also position what I'm saying in a way that the people in the audience is going to want to work with me afterwards, and that's going to be a dish. I leave from an organization with 5 to 10 different benefits. Before it was just one. Oh, let me just see if I can get in and speak. Preparedness, right? So let's talk about preparation. This is one of the things where you don't want to go wing it. What may be a good idea for you is to really sit down once you get clear on who you want to help, and then write out a list. Why don't you do an Excel file, or you can do a Google Sheets, and just write out a list of all of the organizations with their contact information and the type of stage that they have that you want to speak on. All of them may not be physical stages, right? They might be virtual, so look at that as an option. So if it's particular type of, if it's, real estate offices, if it's churches, then why don't you write down all of the churches that are in your city, write down all of their contact information, right? And then write out the stages that they have. If it's just like, if it's just like if it's a stage, then write a stage. If it's a conference or an event, write conference, write event, write, go ahead and write, write anything, like write whatever the stage is. It might be, they might do